Thanks for coming to my channel. If you don't know me, I'm Wendy, and I'm an artist. I work in watercolor, mixed media, pastels, acrylics, all kinds of things. But today I'm going to do some glue book pages in a journal that I started as a junk journal with some spaces to journal in and little pockets and whatnot, which is really, really pretty. But I want to do some pages that are just glue book. So the purpose of that is that it's just all about design and having fun and working with paper and glue. I think you'll like it. So let's get started. This is the book that I'm planning to use. Like I said, I started it as a journal, and it's got lots of things already done in it, little pockets and pretty stuff. But it still has lots of blank pages. And this is a this is a card I got, and these are prints. This is actually some of my own design that you'll find on my store at Summer Bay Studio. But I thought I would go through and just pick out some pages that would lend themselves well to being turned into glue book pages. I think I'll just start with something like this and then go from there and see what we can do. So with regard to mixed media, today I wanted to use these Pan Pastels from, who makes these? They're made in the US, and they're artist pastels like chalk, but they're in a pan like a blusher. I've got several colors, which I'll show you in this little box. A bright green, a dark blue. I'd really like to get some more of these, but I bought them in Paris at the Sennelier store, if that means anything to you. If you're an artist and work with paint at all, you'll recognize that name. And I thought they were just so interesting. I saw them one day and I just had to go back and get them. And so what I want to do is just blend a little bit of this for the background, and it may totally get covered up, I don't know. But I'm going to start with this one because my theme on this is romance or romantic, because it's springtime and because, you know, the birds are singing, they're doing their mating calls and they're sounding beautiful. And springtime just, I mean, it just makes you feel good, doesn't it? So this blends like powder, because it is powder, basically. It's chalk, powdered chalk. And some of them have kind of a shimmer in them. So like this one has a shimmer in it. And they do come with little tools, but this is just a makeup sponge. And I'm just going to use it for now. And like I said, I might cover this up completely, but it'll be fun anyway. And this, you know, to do something like this is totally not necessary. This is just self-indulgence. I just want to get some use out of these because I've had them for 6 months and barely opened them. But look at this great color. It's really a very yellowy green. It looks green here, but yellow on the page. However, like I said, all this stuff will probably get covered up anyway, but it's kind of fun to start with something and just to give you some ideas of some things you can do on pages. Essentially what I've done is change the color of the paper without having to use water, without having to dye it or anything like that. And it's so quick. This is what I'm starting with. I don't need those anymore, so I'll just move them off. I also bought a white one, which is, well, let me try some of this. This is a clean sponge. I think this is a frosty one too. Oh, I know what this does. It just tones down anything that you put on. Look at that. It's so soft. So soft. And it doesn't leave a lot of powdery residue either, which is really nice. I've pulled out some pieces that I think would qualify as being romantic. And let's just have a look at them briefly. So some of these will go on the page, some won't. These are from Cicely Mary Barton's books, the fairy ones. And I thought I would do one that has some pink in it. That one might work actually. Don't think I like that one so much. That's too dark. I want really, really soft, romantic colors. Just to kind of think, spring, romance. And then I have this bag of old greeting cards that I got from my parents' house after my mom died. And today is Mother's Day, and I'm thinking about my mom. So I thought I would use some of these. I mean, this is just so pretty. Happiness for you. I might cut some of those out, and they're all raised a little bit, so that's nice too. The flowers here are really pretty. Here's another one with daisies. A daughter one, happy birthday. You can tell by the fonts what kind of age they are. Look at that. Isn't that the coolest thing? Mother, from mother and dad. And so you're engaged. How nice. Another one with really pretty flowers on it. And then this one has this little house which pulls out. And then there's this saying, as you turn the pages of the coming years, may new joys be waiting when each day appears. But I love the picture on that. And in the card, there's lots of artwork, plus this beautiful little gal. And this is from a different card. So I thought that was kind of a romantic house. Here's a couple, and then this lady from a romantic era. Not sure if I'll use her. And another one with some beautiful flowers. So I haven't cut those out, and I do have a lot of other pieces. This is from one of my sets on my website. Let's just pick out some things and see how we can get on from here. I really should have cleaned things up a little bit more, but I just got home from vacation a couple of days ago and have been just kind of trying to get organized. So just to put... I do like this, and I think one of these pinker ones, she looks good over there. So that's the chosen one of that. Those are cute. I don't think she goes really. And the honeysuckle fairy, he's pretty cute, but I don't think I'll use him either. So here's some of my choices. Because I put pink over here, I don't think I'll use that because I've already got this house. And these ones are nice. I'm going to cut this out right now. I might even leave it in that shape. I didn't take time to cut all these out, to fussy cut them, just because, like I said, I just got home from holidays. I think I want one of these though, because they're so pretty. And this is a folding, like, look at all the options here, including the frames. Those are really pretty. So I'm going to do one of these, and I'll cut them out at some other time, like probably this evening when I'm watching TV or whatever, which is a good time to do that sort of stuff. Because, I mean, when you look at this, this is actually really quite fussy. So I'm not going to go into every little crevice. I'm going to just do a quick job like this. And in the meantime, I'll tell you a little bit about my vacation. So I live in southern British Columbia, about an hour and a half from Vancouver, east of Vancouver. And we, as you probably know if you've listened to world news at all, or if you're in Canada, you know that our government has made it difficult for us to leave the country and get back in for quite some time because of COVID. But now we can do that. So you just have to jump through the hoops and make sure you're vaccinated and all that. So anyway, because we live close to the US border, we like to travel into the US. And so we've been waiting a long time to actually go somewhere. And so what we decided to do, I said, I don't really want to fly anywhere, because if you happen to get COVID when you're gone and you can't get back into the country, and it's just like too much of a headache and too stressful. And I don't like travel stress. I'm an avid traveler, but I used to be a travel agent, so I know that things can go very wrong, and I just didn't want that to happen. I wanted to have more relaxation. So I said, let's just get in the car and take a road trip. So we did. And we went to the Oregon coast, which is always so beautiful. Even when it's raining and cold, which it was for the whole time. Well, we had a couple of days that were not too bad. But by and large, it was just kind of cold. And it was cold here too while we were gone. That's no big deal. It is what it is. I'm picking out a few things here. Let me just move this over so you can see what I'm doing. I've got little bits here. My theme is sort of leaning towards pink. So I'm going to stay with pink, say pink and green. If you're thinking romantic, flowers certainly qualify, don't they? Some of these are quite large. This is the smaller group here. Anyway, we actually stayed at 6 different hotels because we stopped in different places and spent a couple of days. And when the weather's not very nice, you don't want to be outside that much anyway. So we went to a town in Washington called Anacortes. And we had arranged to spend a couple of nights there. And because we got there a bit early to check into our hotel, I said, well, let's go downtown and we'll have a look around. And because of COVID, so much has changed everywhere. It's, shops that I used to love, some of them are gone. It was nice to see that some had survived. But our first day there, so we went downtown and looked around. We had some lunch, and then we got back in our car because then it was time we could go and check into our hotel. And so my husband started the car, and it went crash, bang, tinkle, tinkle, thwap. All those sound effects. I went, what was that? And he's pretty good with vehicles and what's going on. And he hopped out and looked under the hood and went, oh, a belt broke. So we were on the main street and couldn't get to our hotel because you can't drive it. So it's like, okay, well, now what? And we'd had lunch at this restaurant, and the wait staff was lovely. Lovely young woman who was very helpful, very thoughtful, very attentive. We saw her with some really elderly people, and she was really kind, And her name was Megan. So my husband said, I'm going to go back over there and see if she knows anybody that can help. Because what do you do when you're in a strange town? You ask kind of the last person you talk to. So he went over there, and she said, I'll call my boyfriend. He's got a friend who's really good with cars. It's like, okay, great. And maybe he can help you. So she called her boyfriend, and he tried to call his pal. But she said, unfortunately, it's the friend's birthday. And, he might be well into his partying by now. Anyway, the friend was not able to call back, or didn't. Isn't that pretty? I just love to have a little cottage like that. I keep working on it. It hasn't really come together quite like that. He came back and told me what was going on. I stayed with the car because I was sitting with the hood up. And said, well, now what? Anyway, he went back and asked, is there a taxi? We should go check in to our hotel. Is there a taxi? So we got the name of the taxi, called it, and this is a fairly small town. It's not huge, and it's right on the ocean. It's like a beautiful place. I think I'll put this over here because I don't want too many people on the same page. The taxi came and took us to our hotel, which was not very far away, but we had too much luggage to carry it like 2 miles up the street. Anyway, we talked to the driver and said, do you know somebody? Well, this is what happened. This belt broke. He said, yeah, I do know somebody. He looks after my fleet of taxis, which I think was quite a small fleet. he said, I'll give him a call and I'll call you back. We're like, okay, great. So we checked into the hotel and we waited, and pretty soon he called back, which was, I mean, how wonderful. He said, okay, I talked to my friend whose name was Derek, and he said, you can give him a call at such and such a time. Anyway, we did that, and Derek said, yeah, just leave it where it is. I can come by first thing in the morning. We couldn't get the taxi back to the car, and it was a fair walk, but on the way there's a parts dealership, and we had stopped we had gone and checked the evening before to see if they had the part, because my husband knew what was wrong with it, which belt broke and what kind we needed. So he set off in the morning, and I said, I'll just follow up. I'm not ready to go, and I don't need to be there watching a guy fix a car. He set off, he picked up the part that he needed. Anyway, look at that. Cute. And it looks so nice with that. So off he went, and by the time I caught up, Derek, the car guy, had just arrived, or was just arriving. Now, I'm going to use this, which is where I tried my pastels. I'm going to use this and a glue stick on this because it has so many little parts that if I use this glue, it's not going to get into all the little edges. As it turned out, by the time I got to the car, Derek had just arrived. And he had us, actually, you could drive it, so we just went into an alley, parked in a parking lot. And he fixed it. And I went shopping and came back in a half an hour, and it was all done. And I was like, praise God, this is so wonderful. These people have been so nice. He did it for a good price, and yeah, it's just all good. I was really not sure about the powder on the page, and I'm still not sure, but we'll see. Anyway, we had a lovely visit there, got it all fixed, everything was good. I think I'll put these on top, so last, and just put some flowers around. I don't know if I'll use that or not, but that one looks like a good choice for there, or maybe even this one. No, I want this. I want some of the background to show a little bit. That'll be nice. Anyway, from there we went to some of our favorite places on Whidbey Island. Took the ferry over to Port Townsend and carried on down to Ocean Shores, Washington, which we've gone to for, let me see, the first time we went, our youngest daughter was 1.5 years old, and now she's 40. So we've gone there for a lot of years, not year after year, because sometimes we lived elsewhere, like when we lived in France, that wasn't a possibility. What if I put this here? Put them on top, and then put a little message in there. That would be nice, wouldn't it? So we spent a couple of days at Ocean Shores, going to the beach, and it was chilly. We did have sunshine, but we also had rain. And the beach at Ocean Shores is absolutely endless. It's very wide. We had a beautiful little apartment at a hotel. Since that's going to go there, I think I'll check what I can put in that space. Here's some pink. Dream like nothing stands in your way. I love that. Because essentially nothing does. Obstacles are there to be overcome. It's just a matter of time and determination, I think. I do have some stickers. These might fill in little spaces. Yeah, let's just go with this for now. I'll use those for fill-ins. How about? Okay, if I put this one here, I feel like I want something underneath here though. I suppose it works if I cut it off right there. All right. So after Ocean Shores, we went south some more, and we went to Cannon Beach, which is a gorgeous place. I did a bit of shopping around town because there's lots of gift shops and nice stores, and we had something to eat. Okay, so I've put this in here. It looks pretty romantic, I'd say. And this page only needs a couple of little fill-ins, like perhaps that. And on this one, let's see what would work. I rather like that. And you know, my feeling about a glue book is that you don't have to glue up every square inch of it. And then we went to Lincoln City and stayed at our hotel right on the beach. Every morning we could go out and have a walk down the beach. And the water, of course, is freezing. You don't want to put your feet in it because it's absolutely freezing. You'll get pain up your legs just because it's basically it's the North Pacific in springtime, and it's just come from Alaska. So it's pretty cold. And we had a storm one night that was just crashing right below our windows. We were like on the third floor of this small hotel. It's just crashing down. And foam as far as you could see. It was like spectacular. I kind of like that teapot there. I might put one of these little doodads in some space like that, but I'll have to look at my other ephemera and see if I have something small, some other small pieces. This is one of these washi tape ones that you have to peel off like that. Just pull the edge with your thumb. I like the heart, so it's a heart. I like that green, but I prefer this rose as far as romance goes. Not gonna work. I'm gonna stick with the green just for a bit of contrast. Anyway, we spent 4 days at Lincoln City, enjoying the beach and everything. Then we came back and stayed at Kelso for a night and stayed at Port Townsend for a night and came home. So we were gone 12 days. It was lovely. And that was our vacation. So I hope you enjoyed that little travelogue. I'm going to put that in there too. This little stripy heart. Now, to change the subject entirely, if you look in the community tab on my channel, I did a poll before I went away on holidays and asked what people like best. Do you want to see more watercolor, mixed media, or glue book? And so far there hasn't been that many replies, but glue book came out on top by over 50%. So that's why I'm doing this today, because if that's the kind of thing you're interested in, well, hey, let's do more. Because I like it too, obviously. It needs one little thing in there, and I think that button will do the trick. So the thing about a glue book is it's basically a scrapbook. If you had a scrapbook when you were a child, and I don't know if kids still do that. I did when I was a kid, but I was a kid a long time ago. If you had a scrapbook, then you cut pictures out of magazines, and you stick in mementos like tickets and souvenirs from your holidays and that sort of thing. And this is not that much different. So you can do a glue book with anything. You can do it with this kind of ephemera if that is what interests you. I actually think I will add that right there. Or you can do it with a theme, like your school stuff, or your kids' school stuff, or your grandchildren, or your travels, or cooking, or home decor, or basically anything that interests you. And I love that about that. So if I were going to do something with cooking, which would be very fun. Should I put that there? Yes. It's endless what you can do, because the field is so wide. So if you collect recipes, or pictures, like if you see a recipe in a magazine, there's usually a picture to go with it. So if you want to keep them, why not? Or if you're a gardener and collect anything gardening, you can put it in a glue book and have a memento of, like say 2022's garden or whatever. Oh, I didn't use this tiny bird. I think I have the perfect place for this tiny bird. Right there beside the green teapot. Like that. And let's put a little tiny dab of glue on it. That should be enough. Pick it up with my tweezers. Pop it in right there. I think that is absolutely beautiful for a romance theme. There's so much scope. And I made this book. I had this box that had, it was like a skinny box. This was the side of the box. And I covered it. And I just folded the pages. You can see here, got ribbons sticking out. It's just, this is called a signature, where you have a group of pages together like this. So this is one signature, and this is the center, and I poked holes in it with an awl and put this string in for the binding, and then I can just keep adding things to this book until it's done. And now that I've added this, I want to do more. There's our project for today. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you have got some ideas and some fun thoughts or whatever, and that you try it yourself and enjoy it. The main thing is enjoy it. Please subscribe to my channel and click the little bell so that you get the notifications when I have a new video. And I would love it if you'd leave a comment if you've got some ideas that you want to share, or if you've got any thoughts on what I've done. I would love that. I answer all the comments, and click the like button because that tells other people that you like it, and it really helps me. And I'll see you next time.